Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and welcome back to Batman Be Vlogged, the weekly vlog series where I review an episode of Batman Beyond after watching it for the very first time. Today we are looking at episode 38, Where's Terry? Written by Stan Berkowitz and directed by Kyung-Won Lim. As always, there is a blanket spoiler warning in place because I do these unscripted. So, just in case I decide to talk about spoilers, if you do not want to be spoiled, this is your one chance to jump ship, watch the episode, and then come back and watch my review. Where's Terry is a solid episode. I don't really have much to say other than just all around it's solid. So the episode starts with Terry after a date with Dana, a double date it looks like, or just out with a group of his friends. He starts to head home when he notices a suspicious character on the subway and chases after him. The next day, everyone believes he's missing. He doesn't show up at school. Dana calls Terry at his home and his mom says he hasn't been there. Bruce tries to call him for work and he doesn't show he's there and he doesn't respond. So Terry is missing, hence the title of the episode. And then we find out what happened to Terry, which I'm of two minds about. Just given the premise of the episode, I thought it would have been cool to not see Terry until the end, but at the same time, I do like Terry's subplot. It is really good. So on one end of the spectrum, this episode, after that initial starting premise, is divided into two subplots. On one end, we have Max and Bruce reluctantly teaming up to look for Terry, reluctantly on Bruce's side of things because he does not want Max involved. Bruce has known Max is involved, but they've never interacted, they've never met, and this is really their first time. And Bruce seems really bitter about the idea, stemming from the fact that given whatever happened with Barbara, if you haven't read the comics, let's not get into that because if you know anything about Bruce Timm and what he likes in regards to Batman, yeah, you can probably guess what the reason why all of the sidekicks eventually walked away were from. Well, Barbara and Dick at any rate. Tim, we'll get to Tim, trust me. There's a whole movie about what happened to Tim. Spoilers. But anyway, yeah, obviously his past experiences have really flavored what his view of things. And Terry was kind of a happy accident, but it's very clear that because of his past experiences, Bruce does not want Max involved. And Kevin Conroy gets some really good deliveries on his lines, a really good performance here. Like one of the standout moments is when they realize Terry is in the subway. Bruce tries to leave Max behind and says, Terry might be dead. I already have to have that on my conscience. He's trying to protect Max from having to witness that, and he doesn't want to be responsible from someone else. Meanwhile, in Terry's plot, he wakes up in the sewers after having been knocked out, where he meets a young runaway named Dak, which I just kind of had to laugh and roll my eyes at, because Dak is the name of my sister's dog, who lives here with me. Long story I'm not getting into, but yeah. Dak is a runaway because, he has this whole thing about authority. Very, very child power fantasy. He ran away because everyone was always telling him what to do, and he feels like, he wants to be his own person, even though, again, he's like a kid. And there's a really good scene between him and Terry that really excellently illustrates this. Like, he says, half the kids at school want to be you. I was part of the other half who wanted to be like Blight or Spellbinder. And of course, over the course of this episode, Dak is going to learn why that's not particularly a good idea. I will say the animation on Dak isn't great. He's often kept at the same expression, this sort of same sour face, sort of neutral looking expression. Even towards the end of the episode where he's put in peril, like there's an episode where he's hanging off a precipice about to fall before Terry rescues him, and his face still has that expression. The animation in this episode is okay, but Dak is really one of the weak points. But I am kind of getting ahead of myself here. What did Terry see that led him down the sewers? It was Shriek, or Shriek's sidekick. I'm sorry, it's been forever since the last Shriek episode. This is only the third one. I don't remember his current sidekick's name. And as soon as I saw Shriek was involved, I immediately got excited for this. That's why I'm of two minds about the Terry being featured as heavily in an episode called Where's Terry as he is, because yeah, it would have been cool to see, more of Max and Bruce's side of things and have them find Terry and then only kind of vaguely learn where he's been the entire time at the end. But also the fact that it's a subplot that ties into Shriek just immediately drove my hype up. I think Shriek might be my favorite villain created for Batman Beyond. Shriek or Spellbinder, but I do lean towards Shriek. And Shriek is once again playing, with his sound-based equipment and weaponry. He doesn't seem to have a scheme this episode. He just seems to be in hiding, and Batman just unfortunately found him. Excuse me. But yeah, of course, as soon as he learns Batman's down there, of course he wants to take revenge, which leads to him finding and capturing Dak, which is where I brought up that, Dak, the thing about sort of Dak's story arc about wanting to be someone like Blight or Spellbinder, and how he's going to learn by the end of the episode that's not a good idea. He learns it by getting captured by Shriek. Sadly, the confrontation between Terry and Shriek this time around is very lackluster, especially compared to, again, the last two episodes Shriek was in, where there was just some really good animation, really stellar fights, and just given Shriek's whole gimmick, a very good sound design. This particular confrontation has none of that, which is a little disappointing, but overall, Where's Terry, like I said, is a solid episode. It's got a fun premise that I think feels a little wasted by Terry still featuring as heavily in the episode as he does. Max and Bruce have a fun dynamic. Kevin Conroy gives a good performance. And again, the main antagonist is one of my favorite villains in the series. But those are just my thoughts. Have you watched Where's Terry? What are yours? Start a conversation in the comments below. And remember to like, comment, subscribe. Click the bell next to subscribe to get notifications when I upload. In the description box below is the link to my socials where you can follow me and get updates on the channel. This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and I'll see you guys next time for the final episode of Season 2.